Tim-Cullen on. So sit back and enjoy the music.
Selfish and cruel since his youthful days in school. His siblings he never did treat well. His self-centered bent was his dark side lament, with a focus on hypnotizing spells. He memorized laws to help sharpen his claws for a future for which he was bent. The time would surely come when for office he would run and claim he was just heaven sent.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose.
Stepped over dead bodies on his climb to the top. The highest post was his aspiration, but he forgot to read the fine print in the contract that he signed, which caused a U-turn to his final destination. He continued on his pathway of destruction and decay, never thinking that his wicked life would end. He never did take stock that the devil is not mocked, and all those broken fences will not mend.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose. He feels no lament for the lives that he spent. A jackal who thinks he can't be touched. But there will come a day when the devil's birds of prey paint their canvas with his lost soul's carrion brush.
He was with his favorite call girl and his black limousine, doing lines of coke and drinking cold champagne. When it heard the distant rumble of 1,000 bat-like wings, an explosion which caused his ears to pain. His mind was filled with terror as a limo roof was severed by iron talons that grabbed his soul. There were visceral screams and moans and the sound of crushing bones as the birds from hell flew him to his new home.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose. He feels no lament for the lives that he spent. He's a jackal who thinks he can't be touched. But there will come a day when the devil's birds of prey paint their canvas with his lost soul's carrion brush.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Hey, James, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here, Gary.
Okay, let me get a hold of Timothy, and let's get him on the show. So it's ringing right now. Let's see if we can get a hold of him. Hopefully I have the right number.
Hello.
Hi, Timothy. How you doing, my friend? It's been a long time since we talked.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing?
We're doing all right. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I think maybe we got a bad line because you're coming in real weak.
Well, my landline at home.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang up and call you right back and see if we get a better line.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that.
Gotcha.
Okay, that is strange. James, how is he coming in to you?
It was different. It wasn't like he usually is. I don't know. Maybe he's got some weather going on or something. But yeah, I see what you're hearing.
Yeah,
or hear what you.
Yeah, maybe it's because we were talking about abductions and UFOs tonight.
Okay.
I'll give that a try.
Hello?
Yeah, I guess maybe we got something going on. Anyway, so you've been doing good? Have you been to any UFO conferences or anything exciting lately?
No, I haven't. Not lately.
Oh, wow. So, since you haven't been on since I've been on all these radio stations that I'm on now. As you know, I took a little break from broadcasting and I lost a lot of stations, and I have picked up a lot of new stations now across the country. A lot of people don't and are not familiar with Timothy Cullen or Tim Cullen. Let's tell, what were you doing for a career before you saw that UFO and you were abducted originally?
I was in light construction.
And the day, explain to us what happened. You were out with your wife. You were driving, I think, maybe to town or something, and you saw a UFO?
We were coming home from a doctor's appointment in Denver, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, and the UFO crossed the road in front of the wife and I. It was a rather large craft, and I kind of slowed down and came to a stop, and then I backed up a ways, and the craft went out to the west of us, and it looked like it landed in the field. Anyway, it was lighting up the sagebrush, but then two lights came on, one above the other, and I thought we looked at those for 4 or 5 minutes and kind of wondered about it, and then I turned to my wife and said, let's go to town, and from 1978 to 1998, I believe, still, that's all I remember that happened, and I went and got an x-ray and found a piece of metal in my wrist that ended up being taken out by the late Dr.Roger Leir. I was his 9th surgery of the 17 he done.
Wow.
Mine was one of 7 cantaloupe seed-type metallic objects that he found.
Now, I want to go back. When you saw that UFO, can you describe, or do you remember, do you have dreams of it by any chance? What did it look like? Did you hear any sounds from it at all?
Well, I kind of had the windows up, but I really didn't hear any sound. And it was probably 100-foot long, 20-foot wide, 10-foot high, because I seen it to the front, and then I seen it from the side. And it was kind of even moved beside our vehicle. I mean, it took a while running into some people, and they got talking, and then they got thinking about how it really moved. And I mean, it was here, it was there, and then it was kind of here, and then it was there, and then it was there. But I slowed down. The crowd came back. It was by us, and then it came back toward us. But it was, lighting the sagebrush. When it crossed the road, it had to go under a telephone line and over a barbed wire fence. So, there wasn't, if it was 10 foot high, there was probably only a couple feet of clearance top and bottom. So, and there was, I remember it was about 11 o'clock at night. Should have been anyway. The thing about this was, I'd been in the hospital. This was my first trip out of Yuma, but even later on then I learned that the local paper for a couple of weeks had stories about strange lights in the sky, and there was some cattle mutilations going on down in the southern part of Yuma County.
Oh, wow. All that same time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't aware of that for a while because, I was in the hospital for 19 days, and I hadn't paid attention. It wasn't until many years later somebody brings it up, well, that's when the cattle mutilations was. And we went down and looked at through the archives of the old local paper, and yep, there they were. Of course, now, if my wife and I had kind of been aware of some of this, we might have, went to authorities and said something. But, I mean, it was just there and, and then we came to town, so it really wasn't. I was just a person that seen a UFO for many years, and that's just, that's the way it had to sit.
Yeah. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, there was like 16, or now it's 17 hours ago in Oregon, I reported a cattle of a bull that was mutilated. Again, it was drained of all its blood, its sex organs, heart was removed, the tongue was removed. Again, it was no signs of any predators. When the authorities checked it all over, there was no bullets, holes in it or anything. And it looked like it was dropped because it was kind of like in the ground a couple inches. Again, the signs of another, cattle mutilation from something. We don't know what's going on.
Even here in Yuma County earlier this year, in April, a man, right in neighboring, over in Nebraska, in neighboring county, he had a bull mutilated. Now, that's sadly the fifth animal he's lost in the last 10 years to mutilation, but 2,000-pound bull. But even closer, a husband of a classmate of mine, I ran into him at a class reunion this last August, and he comes up and tells me he had a newborn calf mutilated.
Yeah, it seems like...
I've never heard of that.
I haven't on calves. That's rather interesting. But bulls.
I don't think this calf. It wasn't 2 hours old.
That's very interesting. But it seems like it's between a cow and bull. It seems like a lot of bulls are for some reason singled out to be mutilated, to have their glands and all this stuff removed.
Another story on if you want me to go. Shortly after I had my surgery and stuff, and people were coming around and tell me stuff, there were a couple of guys out here that had a dairy south of town. And, every spring they'd have the bull calves, the heifers, calves, and they'd put them out on this quarter ground, and the bull calves were getting mutilated. And they got so bad, they finally quit putting bull calves on that piece of ground. It's uncanny. They wouldn't go anywhere else. They were just after. These guys lost. But they finally quit putting bull calves on the ground. They put heifers out there and anything else, and it wouldn't get bothered. Yeah, but they had some bull calves on that piece of ground. They seemed to get mutilated.
No, this guy.
Not all of them.
This guy here in Oregon. This is like the sixth time this has happened to him. Again, and a lot of people don't realize bulls can be really expensive because they're prized.
This guy in Nebraska, his were highly registered. He lost 3 cows. They were highly registered. I mean, these cows were probably worth $6,000 a piece because of their pedigree.
And that can actually hurt,
I mean, the sheriff don't even come out to his place. Now, I never asked him the pedigree on his bull. All I know, he said it was a 2,000-pound bull, and I think it was up near close to his house. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him, but being as I run into Dr. Leir's patient 18, the next person that he was going to operate on Facebook, happened to make contact. I've got some information to tell Alex on it, and we're going to go over and talk things over. Because this guy had a man come out, he thought from like MIT or something, came out to the town for 3 summers and searched because there was supposed to have been a UFO crash somewhere around this vicinity in Nebraska called Binkelman UFO in 1884. And the guy was trying to see if he could find any residue, of different things that may still be out there that we really don't know about, was showing up and find the crash site. The interesting thing on that, I got a tape from a man, his